An Ideal Husband by Oscar Wilde. Everyone is joyous to see the brilliant Miss Shepley. Our attaches again are right to us about nothing else. Tell me, Miss Shepley, are you going to never country house before you leave England?
Oh no, I can't stand your English house parties. In England, people actually try to be brilliant at breakfast. That is so dreadful of them. Only dull people are brilliant at breakfast. My stay in England really depends on you, Sir Robert.
Really?
Yes, I want to talk to you about a great political and financial scheme, the Argentine Canal Company, in fact.
What a tedious, practical subject for you to talk about, Miss Shepley.
Oh, I like tedious, practical subjects. What I don't like are tedious, practical people. Besides, there's a wide difference. You are interested, I know, in international canal schemes. You were the Lord Raleigh's secretary, weren't you, when the government brought Suez Canal shares?
Yes, but the Suez Canal was a great and splendid undertaking. It was necessary that we should have control. This was a commonplace stock exchange swindle.
A speculation, Sir Robert. A brilliant, daring speculation.
Believe me, Miss Shepley, it was a swindle. Let us call things by their proper names. It makes everything simpler. I hope you have not invested into it. I'm sure you are far too clever to have done that.
I have invested very largely in it.
Who could have advised you to do such a foolish thing?
Your old friend and mine.
Who?
Baron Arnheim?
Ah, yes. I remember hearing that he had been mixed up in the whole affair.
Yes, it was his last romance. His last but one to do him justice.
I fear I have no advice to give you, except to interest yourself in something less dangerous. The success of the canal depends, of course, on the attitude of England, and I am going to lay the report of the commission before the House tomorrow night.
That you must not do, Sir Robert. In your own interest to say nothing of mine, you must not do that.
In my own interest? My dear Shepley, what do you mean?
Sir Robert, I will be quite frank with you. I want you to lay the report on the grounds that you have reason to believe that the commissioners have been misinformed or something. Will you do that for me?
You cannot be serious in making me such a proposition.
Ah, but I am, and if you do what I ask you, I will pay you very handsomely.
Pay me?
Yes.
I fear I don't quite understand what you mean.
How very disappointing, and I've come all the way from Vienna in order that you should thoroughly understand me.
I fear I know.
Sir Robert, you are a man of the world, and you have your price, I suppose. Everybody has nowadays. The drawback is that most people are so dreadfully expensive. I know I am. I hope you will be more reasonable in your terms.
If you allow me, I will call your carriage for you. You have lived so long abroad that you seem to be unable to realize that you are speaking to an English gentleman.
I realize that I'm talking to a man who laid the foundation of his fortune by selling a cabinet secret to a stock exchange speculator.
What do you mean?
I mean that I know the real origin of your wealth and your career.
What do you mean?
And I've got your letter, too.
What letter?
The letter you wrote to Baron Arnheim when you were the Lord Raleigh's secretary, telling the Baron to buy Suez Canal shares. A letter written 3 days before the government announced its own purchase.
The affair to which you allude was no more than a speculation. The House of Commons had not yet passed it. It could have been rejected.
It was a swindle, Sir Robert. Let us call things by their proper names. It makes everything simpler. And now I'm going to sell you that letter, and the price I ask for it is your public support of the Argentine scheme.
I cannot do what you asked me to.
Ah, but you know what your English newspapers are like. Suppose that when I leave this house, I drive down to some newspaper office and show them the scheme and the proofs of it. Think of their lonesome joy, of the delight they would have in dragging you down, of the mud and mire they would plunge you in.
I will give you any sum of money you want.
Even you are not rich enough, Sir Robert.
Wait a moment. What did you propose? You said you would give me back my letter, didn't you?
Yes, that is agreed. I intend to play quite fairly with you. One should always play fairly when one has the winning cards. The Baron taught me that, amongst other things.
You must give me the time to consider your proposal.
No, you must settle now.
Give me a week, 3 days.
Impossible. I've got to telegraph to Vienna tonight.
My God, what brought you into my life?
Circumstances?
Don't go. I consent. The report should be withdrawn, and I'll arrange for reflection and you speak to me on the subject.
Thank you. I knew we'd come to some amicable agreement. And now, Sir Robert, you can call my carriage for me. I see the people coming up from supper. An English man always gets romantic after a meal, and that bores me dreadfully.